Riverdale, Chapter 5, Heart of Darkness, recap attempt in 1 minute, starts now. So this episode starts out with Veronica getting closer to Cheryl. Cheryl says, well, if you want to reach out an olive branch, sleep over at my house because I don't want to be alone. So, the night before Jason's funeral. So what happens is we find out just how completely fucked up Cheryl's family is. They completely treat her like a garbage truck on fire, and they were constantly insulting Veronica's dad and all this stuff. And Cheryl got to speak at the funeral wearing the same dress that she wore when they were rowing out in the river. And then Cheryl. Okay, I'm a failure. So then we find out that that Cheryl's mom is going to take her off of the River Vixens, and then she's going to send her to a boarding school in Europe, and it was some heavy stuff. And I have to really, I don't know her name, she's an actress, but she did a great job this episode. This was really, I would say this was absolutely 100% Cheryl's episode. It really humanized her, and in a weird way, it made me feel bad for her in a way I never have before, because I thought, oh, she's just the bitch of the show, whatever. But they really took the time to keep on developing her, and I thought it was great. I also like how her and Veronica's friendship is expanding, and I like how we saw a power struggle between Reggie and Archie on who's going to be the football captain, and he goes to this music teacher that Val recommended to him, and he just says, "I can't help you," and it's kind of insulting, a bit fucked up, but anyways, I like how in the end, he gave Jason's jersey to his mom, and we got a kind of a creepy scene where she was touching Archie's hair, saying, "You look so much like Jason," thinking that was him. And but I like how Archie is developing more into it, is trying to expand his music, and I can't wait to see what more will come out of it. And meanwhile, all that is happening, Betty and Jughead are trying to investigate more and more into the murder of what's going on. And so they decide to find out more about Jason, to sneak into his bedroom during his funeral. And when they are in there, Grandma Blossom shows up, scares the shit out of them, and she says, "Hey, Polly, what happened to your ring? Why don't you have that ring anymore? If Penelope finds out that I gave you that ring, she'll snap it off your finger." And so that's the first time we found out that Jason was engaged. Jason and Polly were engaged, and we also found out Polly tried to drown herself in the bathtub, and then he lied, and Betty's dad never told her about Polly and Jason being engaged, and it's all a bunch of fuck shit. And she says, "I don't even know what my parents are like anymore." And then we find out the person that swiped away all the that broke into the sheriff's office and stole the evidence was Betty's dad. And I keep calling him Betty's dad because I forget what his name is. But anyways, things are getting darker and much more interesting now. And so So next week, I don't know what to expect because I did not watch the previews. I do not want to know what happens in the previews because sometimes they show a bit too much for my liking. So I that's why I avoid previews for next episodes for any TV show. Now, but anyways, this episode was fucking fantastic. I give it a 9 out of 10. So thank you so much for watching. You can watch me. You can watch me on Twitch. You can follow me on Twitter. You can support me on Patreon. I'd appreciate it. Every dollar counts towards giving you guys better content. And you can also watch me on the N4G TV podcast on the N4G TV YouTube channel. All those links are in the description below, as they always are. And I will see you next time. Bye.